Today I'm going to teach you how to make the Lyla May handbag by Toriska Patterns. We're going to start by talking about what materials you need. There are two options in the pattern. There are option 1 and option 2. Option 1 has a solid front and back, and the base can be that same fabric or an accent. Option 2 has a taller base and a shorter exterior fabric. So if you want option 1, you will need one fabric for the exterior, and then you can use that same fabric or an accent for the bottom. For option 2, you will need 2 different fabrics. And for each option, you'll need lining. For interfacing, I usually interface the exterior and lining with woven fusible interfacing. But if you use a very thin fabric like quilting cotton, you will want to add a layer of fusible fleece, but keep it out of the seams. You will also need interlining. There are 2 options for interlining. You can use Decaville Light, which gives, it's thinner and it gives a little stiffer look. It works well with vinyl because vinyl is thick and Decaville is thinner. Or you can use foam, which is thicker and but it's not as stiff. However, it has a lot of body, so it works for this purse. And so I'll give you instructions on the pattern on how to use both foam and Decaville. And for your base, you will want a layer of heavy Decaville Heavy or Peltex. This uses Peltex. You will also need a frame for this pattern. Those versions that I was showing you did not have the frame put on yet, but you will need a frame. This pattern comes in 4 different sizes: small, medium, large, and extra large. And so you just need to get the frame that fits the size you want. This is 4.5 inches, 6 inches, 8 inches, and 10 inches. The height that the pattern is written for is 3 inches tall. However, I know a lot of frames are often 2.5 inches tall. So for these 3 larger sizes, you can have a shorter frame. But if you do any shorter for this smallest size, you won't be able to get your hand in the purse because it'll be so small. So I would not recommend using smaller than 3 inches tall for the smallest size. This is a little taller. This is a 3.5 inch tall frame. And in the pattern, I give instructions on how to edit the pattern if you have a frame that doesn't quite fit these dimensions. So there are instructions in the pattern for that. You'll notice that some of these patterns have hooks, have chain loops, and some of them don't. So there are instructions in the pattern for both of those. If you don't have chain loops, then you will want to include 2 D-rings for your strap to attach to. And it's written for 1/2 inch D-rings, but you can definitely adjust that for your D-rings if you have a different size. And for your strap, I've written this for a 3/4 inch wide strap, but you can also change that if you want a different size for your strap. And some things that are very nice to have for this pattern: double-sided tape and sewing clips rather than pins. And you'll all I have here are glue-in frames. You can also do this pattern with a sew-in frame, and there are instructions for both. But if you are gluing, you will need a heavy-duty glue. I use Amazing Goop, which is very similar to E6000. And Gutermann's is another glue that you can use. For the 2 larger sizes, you can have a zipper divider. The 2 smaller sizes are too small to have the zipper. And you can do optional purse feet if you want. And that is all the materials that you need.